It's time for you to go. You can walk out or be carried out. Your choice.
He speaks English. I told you, didn't I?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Podbros.com is proud to bring to you the Jean-Claude Van Damme podcast champions of the world! Jeff Jefferson over on my right, John Brewski over on my left, the Jean-Pod Van Damme cast! And if you ain't down with that, we got 4 words for you. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Nice.
Thank you. So we are taking on 2015 Pound of Flesh, rated R, hour and 44-minute action thriller in which a man's heroic attempt to help a woman in distress ends up with him waking up the next day without a kidney and plotting his revenge.
Same old story, heard it 1,000 times.
Yep. This is just like the one where guy wakes up and there's something in the mirror that says, "Now you have AIDS." One of those urban myths.
That really happens, John. Don't joke about that.
I'm sorry. I wasn't. I was trying to make a PSA out there for people. Watch out for feline AIDS. So, director of this is Ernie Barbarash. Writer Joshua James. The tagline? No tagline? What?
Wear a safety vest when you have unprotected sex.
That's a good one. I like that tagline.
Just good advice in general, really.
I agree with you. I agree with you there.
A chastity vest? Something to keep your organs safe.
Yeah, yep. Definitely. And plus, if your partner's into BDSM, that works too. All right, Jean-Claude Van Damme plays Deacon Lyle. John Ralston plays George Lyle, his brother. I'm going to screw this up. Aki Along plays Kung as Leonard Gonzalez. Charlotte Peters plays Anna. Darren Shalavi plays Drake. Those are kind of like the main ones here. John Ralston is known for Living in Your Car, Pound of Flesh, and Bitten.
So that's the guy who's been living in my car?
I guess so, man. He's done quite a bit. He has more film credits to his name than Van Damme. He has 86 credits to his name. So I'm a little bit surprised that those are the ones that he's known for.
That doesn't bode well, really.
Degrassi, Don't Look Back, Mr. Miles Hollingsworth the second. Degrassi, The Next Generation. Is that
the one where they go into outer space?
I think so, yeah. Yep. Degrassi. Yep. I can't. The Lizzie Borden Chronicles.
What?
As Ezekiel Danforth. Yep, Christina Ricci's in this.
Ooh. Loved her in Speed Racer.
I never saw Speed Racer.
Oh,
I wanted
it's amazing.
The Wachowski siblings.
Yep.
Have we said this before? I think we've said this before on the show.
I'm sure we have.
Not with my daughter as Detective Mike. I'm trying to, let's see. Anything else in here? I mean, why isn't he known for Degrassi? Because, that's the one I think everyone...
Yeah.
Flash Gordon as Ming the Merciless in the 2007 TV series.
What?
I had no clue that there was a Flash Gordon 2007 TV series.
Yeah, me either.
Looks like we know what we're watching.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Anything else that people would know? All right. Well,
Who plays Jean-Claude Van Damme's kidney in this?
Philippe Van Damme.
I thought I recognized that accent.
Yep, little known fact. Aki Along, and I apologize if I'm butchering his name. He's known for Pound of Flesh, superhero movie as the Dalai Lama, and House of Sand and Fog as Tran.
I never saw that.
I didn't either. That one was one of those that I would always see at the movie store, like Blockbuster and stuff, and I was like, oh, I should check that out, and I just never did.
And now movie stores don't exist.
Nope, they don't, and now it's too late for me. My Grandpa the Assassin.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that's just, it doesn't have a release date, but it's soon. Ooh, Absolute Vow as a Prophet. This looks like crazy. In 1000 BC, a virgin and her friends venture into the hills to grieve and ponder the grim fate that awaits her. Okay.
Huh.
Interesting.
I've seen movies with a similar premise
Yeah,
before.
yep. The Soul Survivor, except it's like Seoul, Korea. House Arrest as prosecuting attorney Will. Agents of Secret Stuff as Agent X. He has a very familiar face, and I think he's one of those guys, you have probably seen him in a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like background characters, so you don't really... Oh, Power Rangers Wild Force is the old man for one episode.
Oh, yeah.
Roswell, the TV series, is Dr. Frank for one episode. Curb Your Enthusiasm, Restaurant Manager, one episode. See, a lot of these characters. You're like, where do I know that guy's face from?
Oh, he was in an episode of Curb.
Oh, he was in Jag as Colonel Yang Chi.
Anyone, ask your grandparents about it.
I was just going to say, ask your grandparents about that one. Oh, he was in The Cable Guy as karaoke party guest. He was in The Quest as Cow.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, we've
Hey.
talked about him before.
There we go. Amazing. See, look at that. Charlotte Peters. Let's see. She is known for... she's only been in 4 movies. Interlude in Prague. I don't even know how to say that. That's a short film. The Widow's Last, which is another short, and Pound of Flesh. And last but not least, Darren Shalavi, which I'm probably saying his last name wrong. He was in I Spy as Cedric Mills, Alone in the Dark as John Dillon, Pompeii doing the stunts, apparently, in it. He has 67 credits to his name.
A lot of stunt work, I'm assuming.
Oh, no way. He actually was Eric Sloan in Kickboxer Vengeance.
That's right.
He passed away, if I recall correctly.
Really?
Yeah, he died in 2015.
Did Tom Poe kill him?
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yep. Yeah, I totally remember seeing that and being like, whoa, it kind of blew my mind that he passed away so soon. I don't know if it was because of through sickness or an accident or something, but yeah, kind of a bummer to see that. I didn't know he played this guy. Oh, he was in The Marine 3 Homefront with the Miz.
The one with the Miz, yeah.
Yep. The Package as Devin we have Dolph Lundgren in that one.
Oh, yeah.
Aladdin and the Death Lamp as Aladdin. He was in Arrow as Draken or Dracone for one episode.
Huh. That show, I don't know. Never could get into it.
True Justice with Steven Seagal.
Oh, hell yeah.
Man. And Mortal Kombat Legacy, the TV series, as Kano.
Oh, no. Oh, that's right. Holy shit.
Man.
He's another familiar face.
Oh, Ip Man, too, as Mr. Miller Twister.
Yep, I saw that fight scene. I haven't seen the movie.
Oh, it's good, dude. He was in Watchmen as New York SWAT.
Oh, no kidding.
He was in Bionic Woman, the remake, as Machete. In The Name of the King, A Dungeon Siege as Gatekeeper. This dude, 300, is a Persian. He's basically been in everything that you would think. He was in Slither as Brenda's husband. Man, okay. What a bummer. His life ended so soon.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, man. But if anything, I hope people don't remember him from Pound of Flesh.
Yes. This shouldn't be his swan song achievement.
No. So we open up in Manila, Philippines. Van Damme is going into some hotel. Some kids are doing karaoke. He's looking around as if he's being watched. The next scene, he's awake in an ice bath. He's having some flashbacks to what happened. There's some girl talking with him. Some guy was beating her up. Van Damme decides to help her out. We get Van Damme butts.
Yep.
It's been a while. Now we get some older Van Damme butt, but he's still looking good.
Oh, hell yeah. Maybe some sack flash,
I was just going to say, there might have been a little bit of sack in there. We just, I don't know. It was very close, cutting it close with those shots. He's looking in some rough shape. More flashbacks. He's beating up that dude. The dude ends up taking off. Van Damme helps the girl. They go to some bar. They're drinking. She wants to dance, and he wakes up. He notices there's a blood trail to the bed, and the bed is covered in blood. We get some more Van Damme butt of him just railing this girl.
Yeah.
He looks at the blood droplets. He turns around, looks in the mirror. He has this huge wound in his back.
You'd think he would notice like severe back pain the entire time.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Yeah. I guess did I say that he woke up in an ice bath?
Yeah. You did mention that.
Yeah. He definitely have been like, ow, why is my back burning?
I don't know.
Yeah, man. Next scene, we're in a church. Some dude is praying. He talks to the priest about trying to maintain his faith. We're back to Van Damme looking in his luggage. His gun is missing. He is calling someone for help, and he asks them to bring some morphine to him. He looks to his side. There's some drugs and an ace card. Was it the ace of spades?
I believe it was.
And there's some money there and a card saying pleasure of doing business with you. Meanwhile, this other guy is walking, sees kids playing, and he starts breaking down and crying. Van Damme talks to some guy in a trilby and says, "Oh my God, your kidney." And all of a sudden they get a knock on the door. The guy's bodyguard goes to the door. He's like, "Are you expecting someone?" No. Comes in, the guy puts him in a chokehold basically, and he's like, "Let him go, that's my brother." He tells his brother to go home. His brother is freaking out, and rightfully so. Van Damme gets the morphine, stabs it into his leg. His buddy is no longer on the inside with people, he tells him, but he's like, "Hey man, just let this thing go." And Van Damme's like, "No, I won't." So he's like, "Oh, okay, because you won't, I'll agree to help you." Yep. We get more flashbacks of Van Damme and the girl. Van Damme grabs the Bible, puts on his glasses, and walks out the door. He and his brother are talking about a plan. He goes back to the club that he was at. The bartender is acting like she doesn't speak English and she doesn't know who he is.
I hate when they do that.
Yeah, man. Tells Van Damme to leave. I got that a lot, all the time from, mostly American women.
Yep.
They're like, "I don't know who you are." What? Oh.
Not again.
Van Damme beats the bodyguard up with the Bible.
Struck by the word.
Oh, man. I almost kind of went blasphemous there for a second. Yeah. I was like, that's the best use of the book. Right? That's how you get the word through to people, right?
That's right. Bible thumping.
Yeah, that's Bible thumping at its best. Yep. The bodyguard and Van Damme's friend comes in and beats the shit out of some dudes as well. There's just chaos everywhere.
This is probably the best fight scene in the movie, maybe.
Yeah, probably. It was a good back and forth between everyone.
The bodyguard had a telescopic baton, and those are always cool.
Oh, I know, man. Yeah, that was sweet. And when he pulled that out, I kind of wanted one.
Yeah. There's
some broken bones, and then that bodyguard dude gets shanked in the throat with a broken glass.
Irish knife.
Yep. Van Damme gets some guy in the eyes. The bartender runs off.
What did he do exactly to put out his eyes?
I don't know, man. He
didn't he use the cover of the Bible or something?
It was,
I
the
cover
don't know.
Got ripped off.
Yeah, it was
fight.
something, and he crunched in his hands and boom, nailed the guy. Van Damme is let to face some big white guy, and then he easily takes him out. His brother's just standing there the entire time too. It looks like Van Damme is in front of a green screen for some of these scenes. It was like, oh, hey, we're in the club, but not really.
It's the Van Damme challenge right there.
Yeah, it was a part of the Van Damme challenge, that's for sure. The bartender tries to attack him with the knife. He knocks it away. He starts shoving the Bible into her side. He's about to smash her face with it, but she gives up a name. Anna, I can't remember, Riley. She gives up more of the info. They leave. Van Damme passes out while walking. He wakes up, they're in some hospital, and he's getting taken care of, but he's freaking out. And his brother's basically like, "I had no other place to take you, dude. We had to take you here."
Mm-hmm.
We find out that Van Damme served with the French Special Forces, so that explains the accents. We had almost another kickboxer moment, too, I think, when he was talking to his brother. He's like, "Dad went to Europe and Mom was over here with you," to explain the difference in their accents.
See, they missed a golden opportunity to cast Jean-Claude Van Damme as himself and his brother in this movie, another double casting.
Yep. Yeah, they could have. I don't know why they didn't.
Got this wiener in it.
Yeah, Degrassi wiener. His brother would save people, basically bring back kidnapped hostages. That's what they said. And I was like, oh, is this a sequel to Six Bullets?
Yeah, no shit. He's done that a couple times in movies.
Yeah, man, seriously, this character. I bet you if we sat down and, you know how that dude found out recently, maybe in 2016, that all Adam Sandler movies are kind of connected in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
It's kind of like this with Van Damme's character of saving and kidnapping kids. I'm sure if we sat down, we could really, pinpoint that the same
we should
character.
do one of those word web things.
Yes.
We should get a giant dry erase board.
Yes, you're reading my mind. Van Damme didn't tell his old buddy something. His brother's daughter needed that kidney transplant. She basically has 3 months to live.
What a nasty, nasty coincidence.
Yeah, man. Seriously.
Right before he's going to donate a kidney, wouldn't you know it?
Yep.
Gets date raped and his kidney stolen.
Yeah, exactly. What a way to
make a movie.
Yep.
What a premise to make a film.
Yep. The guys seem to be being followed. Van Damme gets out of the van. His buddy and brother are talking. I think he mentioned his brother mentioned George said something about his wife dying of breast cancer, I believe.
Yes, it was cancer. I can't remember specifically what
And
it
I
was.
was like, damn, dude, what luck. Your wife
Yeah.
dies from cancer and your daughter's about to die from kidney failure.
Yep.
The old buddy leaves saying he has to go get a number. Van Damme calls his brother and tells him to take the car and start driving. He drives and parks next to a vehicle to block him in. Van Damme comes out of nowhere and starts beating up a dude in the passenger seat. Does the craziest split sequence in quite some time, man, where his leg is up on the passenger side door mirror.
Holding the guy's hand
Holding
with
the guys with the gun,
yeah.
yep, so he can't shoot. And he's doing the splits basically because the guy's driving. And I think that might have been my favorite part of this whole film right there.
Yes, I agree. That was definitely the coolest shot of the movie.
They take off. The brother and Van Damme chase after him in a van. We get a car chase.
Yep,
There's a
there you
staple
go.
right there. We're not in Eastern Europe this time.
Yeah, I was put
we're in
off
the
by that,
Philippines.
too. That's probably actually filmed in Eastern Europe, though.
Yeah, honestly, if you look. They crash through a construction site. That was kind of comedic. They're about to hit a scaffold, but George slams on the brake just in time, and it stops right then, right in front of it. After, Van Damme keeps telling him, no, you can go through, you can go through. It's high enough. He's like, no, it's not. Looks like they're driving with a green screen. That looked pretty fake as well. He says, if you kept your pants on, we wouldn't have been in this mess. His brother says that to him. That was one line I had to write in. There's some sort of fights with the wealthy watching now, and Van Damme gets out of the van, gets into the fights, and he's just watching all this stuff take place. Then we finally see this Drake guy who walks into the place. He has some bodyguard dude who's now looking for Van Damme. His brother tries to warn him, but his buddy can't reach him on his cell phone. Drake is looking for something. He has a GPS on his phone. Van Damme calls the Anna girl. She sees him and starts walking towards him. She's like, oh shit, he found me. They go off into some room. We find out that Drake was an English SAS, a part of the SAS, and she basically sold out to get out of this life. Drake has Van Damme's gun. He meets up with them. There's a pimp right there, too, for Anna. And it's just absolutely awkwardness. Drake shoots the pimp to frame it on Van Damme. Drake basically tells him to leave, and then Van Damme's brother comes in pointing a gun behind him at Drake. It goes crazy. There's a gunfight. Guys are taken out. Van Damme and the girl get out. A guy starts fighting him. They make their way to the ring and are fighting. The girl grabs the gun. Van Damme is pulling at this guy's face and snaps his neck.
And everyone is horrified.
Yeah, exactly. They go to watch an underground fight and they're horrified at this. Drake is leaving. His brother shoots up in the air to scare people and scatter them to cause a distraction. Drake and Van Damme are now shooting back and forth at each other. Drake slides in a flash bomb. It blinds and deafs them. In my professional opinion, we are dead men. His buddy thinks they need to leave. That's kind of the line came out of left field.
Yeah.
Like, what? Van Damme is a match. This is where we find out about the whole kidney situation. Van Damme's a match. His brother is not, because I think it was Anna or the buddy asked, why don't you do it?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not the match. And you go, huh?
Yeah.
So your ears start to perk up. Like, what's going on here? Anna has the $20,000 on hand to help them find the kidney. She was going to use it to leave, but I think she felt too guilty. And so she's going to help the guys out.
Now she decides.
Yep. His brother goes into some building, and there's some guy there who's like a hacker or whatever, talking about something or other. His brother wants the list. The guy has the info, but he doesn't want to get the brother in trouble. He keeps warning him. He's like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, just give me the list, man. So he gets the stuff. It's some big CEO or whatever that has the kidney. They pull up to some cabin house. It's his brother's place, and we see that the dead wife looks just like Anna, so this gets really awkward.
Yep.
Van Damme is telling her the whole story. He was a bad boy. And there was this awkward love triangle between him and the wife and the brother.
Yeah, very, very strange subplot. This movie has a very strange plot in general for a cut and paste action film.
Yeah, man. Yeah, really. We find out George is sterile, Van Damme was not, and basically the daughter is Van Damme's. Now his brother is having flashbacks of all what happened that day and how basically he's this goody-goody and, all this death and destruction happened. by his hands, pretty much.
Yep.
Van Damme and his buddy are looking over the plans. They need 15,000 more to get the plan together. Van Damme is getting mad at his brother and basically asks him if he would kill to save his daughter. His brother breaks down and basically gives them the money in some bank account that has his wife's life insurance in it. We see Van Damme looking at the pictures on the mantle, and there's a card. There's another Ace of Spades card in the cabin.
Dun, dun, dun.
His buddy opens the fridge.
And wouldn't you know it?
A grenade is attached to it, blows up the kitchen.
The old grenade in the fridge trick.
Yeah, that's...
I use that when I'm dieting.
His brother's okay, Anna's okay, but his buddy not so much. He got
Kinda
destroyed.
blowed up.
Yep.
He did think to shut the fridge before it blew up, though.
Yeah. Drake got him though.
Yeah. I always like... Doesn't a grenade normally take 5 or 8 seconds before it explodes when you pull the pin normally?
Yeah. It takes a little bit of time, so that's the whole point, so you can throw it,
so...
so it doesn't just blow up in your hand.
Oh, that wouldn't have worked for the movie, though, so...
No, that's true.
They always do that. They have, like, grenades on tripwires, and you're like, well, don't these things take, like, 5 seconds or so before they blow up?
Yeah. Seriously. Unless you, like, shorten the wick or whatever in it, but...
Yeah, I don't know. It
I
works
don't
on electric.
I was just going to say,
right?
I don't think that, really works, though.
Who knows?
Anyway, have you ever felt like a grenade?
Like a decommit,
Yeah, one
they're
that's-
hefty.
Yeah, I know they are, man. Like, I was really surprised at how heavy they were.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty sweet.
Hell yeah, we should buy some live ones.
Yeah,
Reenact our favorite parts in Van Damme movies.
Oh, yes. Then we'll film it, and then we'll be on the Darwin Awards. So they got to get the revenge now. Van Damme's taking dudes out at this house. He's planting bombs, or what I think are bombs, all over the place. Goes back to the van, handcuffs his brother to the steering wheel because I'm assuming he doesn't want his brother to go in after him to get himself killed.
Yep.
Van Damme does some signal, and his brother flips the switches, causing all these explosions. Van Damme goes in with his night vision goggles, takes out all these dudes.
Another night vision scene. Is that becoming
I know. That's
trope?
starting to become one too, man. Lights turn back on all of a sudden. Guys are shooting at Van Damme. They can't figure out how that happened. The camera goes out that Van Damme had on his head. His brother wants to save him. He crashes through the gate, grabs a grenade, and throws it at the door. This causes a little bit of a distraction, and Van Damme takes out the rest of the dudes. His brother grabs a shotgun. Anna asks him if he knows how to use the gun. He's like, yeah, my dad took us hunting once. He almost takes out some old lady, though, instead. Just this random old lady, like, walks in, and then she walks out. We hear someone is listening to some old-timey music. It's an older gentleman. Drake comes up behind Van Damme and says something along the lines, it's time to say au revoir.
Yeah.
Van Damme drops down, kicks Drake's legs out from him. They fight back and forth to the enjoyment of the old dude. It was kind of like a cuckold scene. It was really awkward here. His brother takes out one dude, and Drake stabs Van Damme. Van Damme stabs Drake. George comes in, shoots Drake in the bulletproof vest. The shotgun jams. The old guy grabs his gun. Van Damme smokes him, finds out he cut Drake, basically, what is that, the
femoral artery?
Yeah, he cut him in the femoral, and, like...
He's already dead.
He's dead, basically, standing on his
bleeding
feet.
out.
Yeah. The old guy doesn't have the kidney. He's Simon Rance, but he's not Simon Rance III, who's the one who has the kidney. We find out it's an 11-year-old kid.
The mastermind behind the
The
entire
whole thing. He was like, hey, fuck you guys. George is going to kill him, dude. He's going to shotgun his face off.
Like, dude, don't just shoot him with a shotgun.
Yeah, man. I was like, wait a minute. You're not thinking clearly here. Van Damme's telling him not to do it, and he doesn't. And I was like, whew, that was close, because he was about to pull the trigger. That kid probably pissed his pants. I would have, too. They take off. They're back at the hospital. It's in God's hands now. Van Damme apologizes. George lets Van Damme hold his daughter.
Which was weird. Like, he puts an 11-year-old girl while she's asleep in Jean-Claude Van Damme's lap.
Yeah, man. Yeah. This is like 6 bullets all over again, too, dude. And she, like, wakes up startled.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Because
and
this
he's
man
like,
that she's never met.
Yeah. Hey, don't worry. This is your uncle. Oh, okay. Everything's fine now.
And she was a horrible actress, by the way.
Yeah.
Like,
This is the surprise I was telling you about. She hugs him. Van Damme says he loves her, and she says she loves him. And we see that there's a pool of blood by Van Damme's leg. And there's the flashback to Drake stabbing him.
Yep.
George, I'm dying. I'm dying, George. And he dies. Dad, I want to talk to him in the background. While he's
Shut up!
Yeah. Hey, Claire, doing something. 1 year later, they're laying flowers by her mom's grave.
The
His
daughter
wife,
now has 5 kidneys.
she has 5 kidneys now. She's a super kidney fiend. She wears them around her neck.
She has the most pure urine of any human being on the planet.
She's a unisoul. See that Deacon is buried right next to his
Which is really weird, too.
Yep. So I was like, oh, okay, so is George going to get the other side?
Yeah.
You know? We also see Anna is there as well. And they all hold hands and walk away.
Which is also weird.
Yeah. One of my favorite lines at the end was, "Is Uncle Deacon watching us from heaven?" I sure hope so.
But there's a strong possibility he's going to.
And that's it. That is Pound of Flesh, man.
That is that.
So on a scale of 1 to 10 splits, what would you give it?
Not very high, I guess. I mean, it wasn't like horrible, but it certainly wasn't good by any stretch. But I'd probably give it maybe 5.5 splits.
Yeah, I would agree with you, man. Definitely.
I mean, it had some cool shots, like the ones that you mentioned. None of the fight scenes were bad per se.
Yeah,
but they weren't enough to carry the rest of the movie. Like, the plot was so weird and nonsensical.
Yeah, man.
And these weird twists and turns. I mean, the big twist at the end where it wasn't the old guy's kidney, I mean, yeah, that's fine, whatever. But, like, him needing the kidney and then having it stolen right before he's going to donate it, I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, that's really
even
crazy.
for an action movie, that's kind of a stretch.
What a weird coincidence, you know, that happens. Yeah, I agree with you. I think this was my second time seeing it. I've seen it before, and I totally must have been just had it on in the background when I was doing stuff. Cause I remember
is the type of movie to do that.
Yeah, because I remember liking it, and I was like, oh, that wasn't bad. It wasn't like JPVD or some of the other stuff, you know, but I was like, oh, okay. So when I watched it again, I was like, oh man, this wasn't as good as I thought. I remembered it, but yeah, the scene we already said, one of our favorites was the splits on the car window.
Yeah, that was
or the
cool.
mirror. Yeah, I really enjoyed that, and to see Van Damme be able to do that, you know, he's doing the splits.
Oh yeah. So. One thing, like, I just wish there was more comedic relief in his later films. All of them are so doom and gloom.
I know, man. Yeah. A lot of them are like it gets kind of depressing a little bit. You're watching a lot of these. You're like, oh, come on.
He's always saving kids that are in horrific, mortal danger of like being killed or being sold into prostitution.
Yeah,
or sex
man.
slavery.
Yeah, that's where it gets like.
It's always seedy underbelly stuff.
Yeah. Gets to be a little bit too much.
Yeah.
All right, and the trivia. This is dedicated to the memory of British actor Darren Shalavi, who plays the main villain Drake. He passed away January 2015. Fight and stunt choreographer John Silvedi is a longtime mainstay of Donnie Yen's fight team, a lifelong martial artist who began his film career with Donnie and Yuan Wu Ping. Okay? The opening scenes are in the Capitol Hotel, Beijing.
Oh, so
there you go. Beijing this time. Not a lot of trivia. That was all the trivia there. More quotes than trivia. Deacon Lyle. See this Bible? It will leave big bruises, and I will beat you with it if you don't tell me what's going on and who set me up. Deacon. Kidnap and rescue is all fine, but what I'm really good at is killing people. George. That must be hard. Deacon. No, that's the scary thing. Killing. It's easy. Living with it, that's hard. George. If I'm going to go to hell, I might as well go down in flames. Deacon. Game over. Deacon. Would you kill to save her, even if it damned your soul? Isabella. Our parents got divorced. I stayed with Dad and my brother went with Mom. What? I don't even remember this at all.
No.
Who is Isabella?
I don't know.
Is that the daughter?
That
can't be. No, because they didn't get a divorce.
No. I don't know. How strange. Maybe it's from a different cut of the movie.
Adele Bond played Isabella. There's no picture of her, so I can't tell you who to. She was in the movie. I don't remember that whatsoever.
We can just omit that whole part.
Yeah. We're professionals here. All right, that's it, man. That was Pound of Flesh. We are moving along here, dude. We are now in 2016.
Scary. We're going to be reviewing movies from the future pretty soon.
I know, man. I know. That's what's crazy about this. Welcome 2020 and 2018. We are looking at Kickboxer Vengeance, where he plays Master Durand.
Yes. His girl... I'm looking forward to reviewing this.
Yes, definitely. All right, guys, that's it. That about wraps it up. You know the usual drill. Here's where you guys go, okay, it's all done. I'm going to turn it off. But please wait, don't turn it off. We got something important to tell you at the end of all of this. Patreon.com/podbros. If you don't feel like donating to us there, we have an Amazon link. That means you don't have to pay anything extra. You just use our link. That gives us a bit of a kickback. Thank you to all those that are already doing it. That really helps us out. And just go to podbros.com, scroll down, hit that Amazon button. Lastly, please rate and review us on iTunes, 5 stars. That gets us into other people's ears and to some more Van Damme fans. And that's what we all want and enjoy.
Hell yeah.
Okay, on to that big news. You want to hear what that big news is? Thank you for listening. Sorry, I had to do it. I'm sorry. I totally had to pull that on you. I am John.
And I am Jeff.
And you have been listening to another episode of the Jean Pod Van Damme Cast. I want to talk to Uncle.
Hey guys, you don't look like tourists.